Hello and welcome back to my channel, The Architect, formerly known as the Black Flame Signal, which is the name of my Patreon. It's still the Black Flame Signal. That's the teaching platform that I've named it and brought it to life as a living entity. But YouTube is The Architect. And I'll explain why my channel is called The Architect and a little bit about myself and credentials here. This is my second video of my Wednesday night podcast. I film this on Wednesdays. Tune in with the energies. Wednesday is the energy of communication, energy of magic, Odin's day. Good day for communication, Mercury. Speaking related things, it's best when you send emails and do communications like that. It's not like tried and true, locked in, you have to do it on this day. No, it's more like the best day to do it. Not all magic is time sensitive, as most people in books would like to believe. Definitely not my path. So, well, if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning listener, thank you very much. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your opinion about the topic. And the topic today, we're going to talk about more about what magic is. We're going to continue on that. Left-hand path versus right-hand path, and universe A and universe B. Now I try to keep this laid back. I like to partake in green snacks of different types. The herb. So if you hear a lighter, I'm token up. I try to keep it open and honest. I do use psychoactive substances in my rituals and in my magic work. A lot of people are against that. I found out it works well with my magic. Helps me attract more, keeps me more grounded, I guess I would say, in my magic. People say, how can you do that if you're on psychedelics and psychoactive shamanistic substances? It just works for me. I don't know why. I'd be honest with you, I really don't care why it works. It just works. Most likely, it's probably connected to the fact that I don't let fear hinder my spiritual walk, my path. A little bit about myself. My name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. I'll say that again, a little redundancy. Can't be too redundant when you're being polite, I guess. I'm not a teacher in the conventional sense. I have walked through the abyss. It was an 11-year journey. It stripped my identity, my false identity from me. I was stripped of identity, power, love, and form on purpose for 11 years. I became the weak man, the wounded child, the discarded man, the forgotten one, just to prove that no one could break me without my permission. I have trauma, just like about every magician. Trauma and becoming a magician, especially a black magician like myself, is is a requirement. Almost a rite of passage, because once you experience that trauma, you can bring that parts of your soul back and become stronger and become powerful. That's what the left-hand path is all about. I am a left-hand path magician. That's what I am. I do not dabble in the right. I have completely severed myself from all Judeo-Christian beliefs. I've annihilated those beliefs in different ways magically. I could teach you how to do that too in the future, but it takes time. This is not a McDonald's fast food 10-minute process or overnight or next day delivery. There's no Amazon Prime speeding up your process with this. I do not call it the great work because I do not associate myself with the right-hand path at all. I cut myself off at the right-hand path and consider them my enemy. Not as an enemy as in violence or hatred for the personal person. I don't spend time with people on the right-hand path. I do not associate with them. It's minimal interaction as I can because I believe in the transfer of energy. What you are around, you will become. And they do not jive with me. We'll say that. I'm against their beliefs, their teachings, their philosophy, how they interpret the world. So that's why I'm on the left-hand path. And there's other reasons too. Symbolic reasons I will explain. If anything I'm saying or if anything I've ever said or will say resonates with you, that's great. I'm glad. I hope I can help you find power, strength, and you follow your will and you live the life that you want to choose, that you want to live. If I don't resonate with you, that's fine. I don't resonate with everyone. Not everyone can live in the universe B. The majority of people are in the middle or are in universe A. We'll talk more about these different universes that you are living in right now and you didn't know. It's not a physical place, it's a state of mind. Each person is different. I don't teach theory. I teach what I survived. I don't read magic books. I only listen to spiritual leaders to critique them and see where they are wrong. My information arrives purely from gnosis, from inside the soul. In my path and my belief system and my magic system, which I will tell you, I built my codex on. I am a codex level architect. I am not a magician. I was a magician, and I do refer to myself as a magician for the simple fact as to make conversation and delivery of words a lot better. But in fact, I am not a magician. I am a level up from the magician. Well, a couple of levels up, but we'll say architect. I don't want to disclose everything. It's none of your business. And in magic, keeping things personal and quiet makes your magic more powerful. That's why a lot of people don't talk about it. It's not because they're living in fear, though some might be. It's because silence is better. Which I could go on rants about modern spirituality. If you read my Substack, the Black Flamesignal, I'll leave a link down in the breadbasket below where you can click on it. I have a lot of information that I've written on there so far. My gnosis and how I see the world through my form of consciousness. You can like it or not agree with it. I really don't care. And I'm not being rude when I say I don't care. What I'm telling you is I'm being honest with you. I am not seeking your approval. I'm not looking for you to agree with me. I'm not looking for you to follow me. I'm not looking for you to be some type of disciple or anything like that. I don't give a shit about that stuff. I just care about teaching what I'm supposed to teach to the people that want to learn, because it's my turn. Like I said, I built my codex from death, bound daemons to my name, and turned humiliation into a throne. My credentials are not certifications. I do not have a single certification in magic. I am completely learned by gnosis. They are my scars, sigils, and sovereign laws written in the bones of my past. My system is real. My laws are binding. My magic works. You can believe me or not. It doesn't really matter. And I did not come to ask for belief. I came to remind you of what power tastes like when you stop pretending to be small. That is what I do. I help people find the power within them. I will be finishing up setting up my Patreon very soon for people that want to subscribe and get a little more in-depth information that I can't talk here on YouTube. Stuff I want to keep hitting to the shadows, not because I'm afraid, because I don't want you to know what I've learned for free. I didn't get it for free. You don't get it for free. There has to be an exchange of energy. And that makes it fair for each person involved karmically. If you believe in karma. I don't. I don't subscribe to karma. I subscribe to energy, not some system formed by some other person. You really have to watch out what you mix in with your practice. Everything is energy, the law of vibration. And I'm not talking about hermeticism. I'm not a hermetic magician or architect. I'm black magic. I work from the void, the only magic that exists. And I just threw down the gauntlet. There's no other magic but black magic. The void is where all magic in life and all creation comes from. That is source. It is not a man in the sky with a beard that's too lazy to do anything and judging you if you love him or not. That's Christianity. That is not magic. Christianity and magic are like oil and water. They're polarities that are different. They don't mix. You have to understand what polarity is. And you can go on any YouTube channel and type in magic, voodoo, or any type of basic witchcraft or magic today and find that they mix two different energies that do not belong together. We're talking about the energy of Set and the energy of Ma'at. The old ancient gods of Kemet. Set was the god of chaos and Ma'at was the god of order. They don't balance each other. They just function differently. They do different things to keep harmony. You have too much of Set inside you or inside your reality, which is inside your reality because it is inside you, because what is inside must manifest outside. That is absolutely magical law. There's no way around it. There's no codex anywhere that can rewrite the idea that what's inside you can't be outside you. As within, so without. These are sayings. They're not Hermetic teachings, even though they tie them to the Hermetic teachings, which is my favorite phrase, bullshit. These ideas were around long before anyone was reading the Kabbalion, however you pronounce that dumb book that everyone thinks is so mystic. A mystic and a magician are not the same thing. Words matter. It's universal law. As above, so below. As within, so without. What happens in the heavens will happen on earth. What that means is not the heavens is when you're going to go see grandma when you finally kick the bucket. Heavens as in the stars. The higher planes. The things you can't see. The things that are above mundane physical reality. The spirit, if you want to call it that. I'm a left-hand path magician, as I've said, working black magic. I care about the mundane. I don't care about the spiritual. Yes, I do things that reflect in the spiritual and require the spiritual, working with daemons, servitors, egregores, death angels, other entities, elementals. But that's why the pentagram for black magic is inverted. It's inverted because we put the material above the spiritual. I didn't come here to go back to be with Source. I just need to use the magic. So that is my credentials. Let's get into some more of this left-hand path, right-hand path, universe A, universe B type thinking. Okay, a little introduction here. Let's define universe A and universe B as two hypothetical or metaphysical paradigms or worldviews in people's minds. They can be infected. You can be infected with universal A and be a slave and be in poverty. That's what universal A is. Because you basically give away your sovereignty to follow some deity outside your body, whether it's praying to him, asking for anything, groveling, getting on your knees, bowing. We're going to compare and contrast structures, logics, energies, and implications of each universe and how universe B is left-hand path and universe A is right-hand path. And we got to assume both systems are complete and eternally coherent. All right, so you're wondering what's the difference, the foundational assumptions. Universe A is built on deterministic fixed laws, emphasizes linear time, cause and effect chains, operates under objective external truths. Universe B is built on probabilistic adaptive frameworks, emphasizes cyclical or nonlinear time. Truth is fluid, subjective, or creative, co-creative. Contrast. A assumes universal contrast. B assumes situational truth. A relies on external validation. B on internal coherence. A is rooted in predictability. B in emergence. B is more about what's going on inside. All right, if you hold up your hands, and it's not one, two, you got a left and right side. I hope you do. So, why do they call it the left-hand path and the right-hand path? Well, under occult anatomy, the right side of the body is for projection. Anything on the right is projected out of the body, and anything on the left is projected inward. So, right-hand path people deal with ideas and issues that are outside the body. Left-hand path people deal with issues that are inside the body, the darkness, the things you can't see, the shadow. Now, for years, dark imagery has been tied to the left-hand path, you'll see 666, which, if you know anything about numerology, is just 9, which means completion when you add the numbers together. Which I have an article about how numbers are important, especially in my magical system or any magical system. You don't hear much about that from YouTube magical teachers. Black magic is all about the manipulation of yourself and which in turn manipulates reality. And you have to understand numerology, how to read the patterns the universe is sending you to understand that your magic either worked or didn't work. Either worked or didn't. So that's the foundational assumptions of the universe A versus universe B. So universe A also has a hierarchical structure, layering of reality. Hierarchical layering of reality. Say that 5 times fast. E.g., matter is greater than mind is greater than spirit. Clear division between physical and metaphysical. Entities are discrete and self-contained. Universal B. Reality as a network or web, not a ladder. Blurred boundaries between dimensions. Entities are relational, interconnected, sometimes overlapping. The contrast is A values separation and classification. B values synthesis and entanglement. A is spatially structured. B is energetically organized. Epistemology, how knowledge is known. Universe A, knowledge is discovered through reason, science, observation. Emphasis on repeatability, falsifiability, and logic. Learning is accumulation. So this is someone that has this worldview of A. Usually you find these people in the Abrahamic religions. That's universe A. Most of the magical systems that people talk about today are in universe A, are on the right-hand path. Work with things outside your bodies. Ask for permission. Left-hand path magic, universe B, does not ask for permission. They're sovereign. They command. The universe does not respond to prayer as much as religion would like you to think. It doesn't give a shit what you want. It only responds to command. All right, universe B. Knowledge emerges through intuition, revelation, pattern recognition, and gnosis. Comes from inside. You just know, you learn. They emphasize on synchronicity, symbol, resonance. Synchronicity is why you got to understand the patterns of numbered when you're doing black magic. And learning is remembrance. You don't learn anything, you remember, because it's from your soul. The ego wants to learn. The ego wants you to get all the knowledge and search for the knowledge. The soul doesn't need to search for the knowledge because the knowledge is already there. It just takes time when it's ready to be remembered. A privileges external testing. B privileges internal alignment. In black magic, internal alignment is very important. If you're not internally aligned, your thoughts, your actions, and what you say, then your magic won't work. If someone asks you, do I look fat? And you say no to make them feel good, you just gave up your sovereignty so they could feel good about not eating 2 cheesecakes. So yes, tell them they're fat. I didn't say be a dick. I said tell them they look fat. That's what they asked for. You give it to them. It's not your fault. That's what they asked for. You just have the balls enough to do it. A considers knowledge finite and expandable. B considers it cyclical and archetypal. I can't speak tonight. Probably has to do with something around the energy. Universe A and B handle time and temporality differently. Universe A, time flows forward, past affects present and future. Timelines are fixed or branching but linear. Someone that lives in Universe A views time is a container. Universe B is different. Time is spiral or nested. The future influences the present as much as the past. Time is a field or medium. The contrast is A sees time as measurable and quantifiable. B sees time as experiential and relative. Flow state. Most of the stuff that people do in New Age spirituality and magic in general, whether they think they're on the right-hand path, they probably are on the right-hand path. Most people live in Universe A. Very few live in Universe B. It's the balance. You'll always have more people living in A than B. But here's the breakdown. Universe B is what runs the world. That's where the power's at. You could never be someone that's rich and famous, a millionaire or a billionaire, if you live in Universe A. That's just the way it is. Your field system is not set up to support that type of lifestyle. You see, money is energy, and money flows where energy is at to support it. Yes, if you live in Universe A, you can obtain $10 million. You can obtain it. That's what I said. You can have it. You won't keep it. Your energy system cannot support $10 million in the bank energetically. Why? Most likely, if you're living in the United States, especially the southern region, you live in Universe A, you are an Abrahamic faith believer, Judo-Christian faith, most likely Christian, most likely if you're from the southern part of the United States, Southern Baptist or some other type of Protestant religion. And in the Bible, it clearly states that the love of money is the root of all evil. And if you believe that the love of money is the root of all evil, that is Universe A thinking, and you will never be rich. I don't give a fuck how much you wish or how much you try or how many scratch-offs you get, even if you're lucky. You could win $1 million every day, but you will not keep it. You will eventually be broke. But hey, if I have $1 million every day, well, that's not the point. The point is in the energy. It's what you do with your energy, how you view your world, how you view divinity. If you think divinity is outside your body and it's something you bow down to, you're a fucking slave. So therefore, you follow all the rules and you have all those hardcore beliefs, and therefore your beliefs affect your field physics, which is your aura, which is a torus shape like a big giant donut. Then you're not going to be able to handle the fame, the fortune that comes with being someone like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin. George Soros. I'm not saying I agree with these people or I have political views like them. I don't have any political views. I don't pay attention to politics. It's a game. That's all it is. But to be these people, you have to live in a certain universe. Universe A will never live in Universe B, and Universe B will never live in Universe A. It's the worldview, and you just can't switch back and forth. It takes trauma. It takes something very profound to happen in your life to switch. Then it's a process. Most people are born with it. Most people never change. Especially this day and age, most people don't even read a book. And I'm not saying you read books to reach higher planes of understanding of spirituality. You can. That's where you can start. That's a good way to start to get the vocabulary. And meditate, which I'm going to drop a nuclear bomb on you. Meditation is black magic. It's left-hand path. It's not right-hand path, but it's used in the right-hand path. I'll do more on meditation, but meditation is not to free your mind and dissolve the ego. It's to centralize and focus your will. It's to do magic. It's black magic. Black magic does not mean evil. Black magic means void. It's the black magic is the point in between idea and action. A millisecond. Energy and power dynamics. Universe A. Power is accumulated or granted by hierarchy. Energy flows top down or is extracted. Competition-based system dominant. Total Abrahamic religion style ideas. Right-hand path type thinking is I'm unworthy. I need someone to save me outside of my body. I can't do it myself. Left-hand path says, fuck that shit. I am a god. Left-hand path is on the path of self-deification, which is true if you can cross the abyss. If you can make it out. You won't recognize yourself once you get out. Hopefully you'll look at yourself, and when you exit the abyss, if you exit the abyss, not everybody does. And there's cities in the United States that are abyssal initiators. We won't talk about that now. I'll let you figure out which one it is. There's energies and ley lines, and you can put a tarot card just about every one of the major arcanas to one of the major cities in the United States. It has to do with energy. Universe B power is distributed and emergent. Energy is shared, recycled, or transmuted. Cooperation and resonance are core modes. All about moving energies inside you. A tends towards scarcity models. B towards abundance. A externalizes conflict. B internalizes transmutation. Basically, when you're in Universe B doing black magic and alchemy, you're working on the inside, your shadow. That's all that is. Right-hand path is all about leveling up and becoming one next to God, I guess, kissing his feet or whatever it is. B's not like that. Identity and selfhood. Universe A identifies as identity as a singular stable defined by roles and functions. Emphasis on consistency and continuity. I can't even speak tonight. Continuity of self. Self is separate from others. Universe B. Identity is multiple, fluid, contextual. Emphasis on shape-shifting archetypes, mask self to self is so co-constructed and interconnected. Contrast A views transformation as loss of integrity. B views it as evolution. What I'm talking about here, mask, you can, if you understand archetype magic, archetypical, you can change your archetype. Most people's archetypes are locked in a certain energy state that they can't get unlocked. For example, when I was walking through the abyss, the one thing that scared me the most was being a weak, emasculated man that no one respected. And that's what I became for 11 years. People walked all over me for 11 years because that energy state was locked in to that archetype, and that's what I projected when I talked or when I was around anyone in my field. Now, most people don't teach how to change that energy state because it is old magic. It's old black magic from Kemet. It's part of their sorcery, where you can unlock all your archetypes and go back to basically a null state and have no archetypes, and you can switch your archetypes, and that's very, very powerful black magic. That's how the black magicians of Kemet could control a room, switch the archetype, and then you switch the Taurus energy field, and therefore everyone around you switches. For example, if you walk into a room and you feel like everyone's tense, maybe switch to the archetype of a stoner, level out and melt, and make the room mild. I could teach that. I know how to do that. It works. I might do that in a one-on-one class or create a program. Most likely a one-on-one class. It's high-level magic. It's very, very powerful to be able to change the energy of a room with your mind. It is very possible. All this is mind technology. That's what these are. This is a technology. That's it. It's not like iPhone. It's mind technology, metaphysical technology. Identity and selfhood, universe A. Identify as a singular stable defined by roles, functions, emphasis on consistency and continuity of self. Self is separated from others. Universe B. Identity is multiple, fluid, contextual, emphasis on shape-shifting archetypes, mask, self is co-constructed and interconnected. Contrast of views, transformation or loss of integrity. B views it as evolution, and I read my notes twice. I lost my place, so let's keep going. Death and afterlife. Universe A. Death is singular event, a crossing point. Afterlife is binary. Heaven, hell, reincarnation, oblivion. Emphasis on judgment and finality. Abrahamic religion talk. Heaven, hell. Basically what the Catholic Church did in the law of, not the law. What is it? I can't remember the meeting in 300. Oh, Council of Nicaea. That's it. The Catholic Church at the Council of Nicaea basically stated that Jesus is God. He's not. He was an archetype. It's the archetype of ascension, of perfection, but not perfection as in doesn't make any mistakes. Perfection as in the complete human, 666, which is 9. Stated that he was God incarnate and he should be worshipped. It's not what Jesus talked about. The story of Jesus in the Bible is code. It's not an actual person, but it's been used and sold as an actual person to get people to control it so people can have power and make money. That's what it is. Religion is fake. It's bullshit. I made a stance. I'm not a religious person. I don't worship anything. I don't ask anything for anything. I command it. There's a difference. Universe B views death as a transition or phase shift. Afterlife is layered. recursive multi-realm, emphasis on interrogation, continuity, and return. A sees death as exit, B sees it as transformation. A sees death as the end, B sees death multiple times in life, just not as life ending. We view anything as an ending as a death. Death is death the end or the beginning? You have to ask yourself that. All right, application of living philosophy. Universe A. Ethics are rule-based universal. Systems are institutions emphasize order. God is mastery through discipline. Universe B. Ethics are situational, intuitive. Systems emphasize flow, adaptability. Goal is harmony through alignment. Contrast. A produces structured civilization. B produces emergent cultures. Integration possibilities. Universe A and B can exist in tension or synergy. A may ground B, B may liberate A. Okay, so if we go back to A produces structured civilization, B produces emergent cultures, it's kind of like basically, if you understand Ma'at and Set, Ma'at would be A, form, Set would be B, chaos, male, female energy. Universe A is more male, masculine energy, and in one form, more of Ma'at energy in one form. Universe B is more feminine energy, more chaos. We're not talking about like feminine energy as in flamboyant or more masculine, he plays baseball. No. I'm talking about how the energy moves. It doesn't have to do with gender of human beings. How the energy moves. Masculine enters, feminine receives. Action and waiting. A may ground B, but B may liberate A. They're both needed. One's not better than the other. There's things that are required for this reality to function. But here's the problem. People mix both of them. People try to do white magic, which doesn't exist. It's really LARPing. Live action role playing. We'll get to more of that. And then use black magic tactics, and that's why they go crazy. And one person I shit on all the time and needs to be shitted on is Aleister Crowley, a complete fucking idiot. Well, he was a powerful magician. Yeah, he was a powerful magician. He also went crazy and worked from ego. There's something that doesn't exist, and that's Christian mysticism. Christian magic. It's bullshit. Let me channel my inner George Carlin, whether he was a magician or not. He understood, either consciously or subconsciously. I'm going to say he understood some things consciously. He was known to do psychedelics in the past, and he changed his position, his worldview. And to be someone... Okay. We just finished up talking about Universe A and Universe B. That's needed to understand this next part. I tiptoed around, talked about left-hand path, right-hand path. Right-hand path is universe A, left-hand path is universe B. No ands, if, or buts about it. And you can't mix the two energies. I don't care. There is no gray magic. There's actually no white magic. If you ever, when you walk across the abyss, when you walk through it, and you come out the other side, you start seeing reality completely different, completely universal B form of reality. My journey was 11 years. Not everyone's the same. Mine was 11 years because it has to do with black magic. The number 11 in black magic is powerful. More on that later, but I diverge. I digress. We're not here to talk about that. All right, so what are the left-hand and right-hand paths? In the study of esoteric traditions, the terms left-hand path, LHP, or right-hand path, RHP, represent two distinct spiritual trajectories. Both are avenues for spiritual growth and magical mastery, but they diverge in their treatment of the self, morality, divinity, and the social collective. The right-hand path is generally associated with altruism, divine union, submission to cosmic law, ego, dissolution, morality, moral purity, and often more things. The left-hand path, in contrast, emphasizes individualism, personal power, the elevation of the self into godhood, breaking of taboos, and rejection of external authority. Basically, everything comes from within. Does that sound familiar? A lot of Buddhist teachings. But they're right-hand path. They're not left-hand path. The Eastern philosophy are not really magicians. They don't care about the manipulation of energy. The Western philosophy does. That's where magic comes from, more per se. I'm not saying they don't have their forms of magic. They do. The West does not have a capitalization on magic. But we're not trying to dissolve the ego and become one with the void like mystics are, like they are. They're mystics. We're magicians. We're not mystics. You have to understand the meanings of words. Mystics steal systems from technology from black magic to use it and abuse it and bastardize it and go crazy. That's why Aleister Crowley went crazy. The Golden Dawn is shitty. And I'm about to shit on another magician that's very famous and very talked about in the magical community. That's Damien Eccles. Watch an interview with him. He can't even finish a sentence, form a sentence, answer a question. He walks around his answers. He shouldn't be teaching magic. He was in prison for 20 years and in solitary confinement, most of that practicing magic. He wasn't practicing magic to build a throne and change his worldview. He was practicing magic to escape prison, to escape death row. He was on death row for a reason. He mixes left-hand path and right-hand path magic. If you want manifestation and not the bullshit that you get from Starbucks for $2 in a latte on a Friday afternoon before you go to your hot yoga class, manifestation is pulling something that doesn't exist in reality from the mind and bringing it to it as an idea, whether it's making a park bench or a donut. That is manifestation. If you have the idea of making a donut and you bring the donut into reality by actually making the donut, putting all the ingredients together, you just manifested a donut. Congratulations, you did black magic. So how is black magic evil? problem with the right-hand path is they lie to themselves and call themselves holy while doing black magic. Manifestation is pure black magic. You are manipulating reality. How am I manipulating by reality? Well, you manifested an idea from your head. Your idea was a donut. You got the ingredients. You made the donut. The donut was ready to eat. You ate it. You ate it. You manifested a fucking donut. That's what manifestation is, and that's not attraction. Attraction is where you change your field to bring something to you that is the same energy. But the New Age community on purposely screws everyone up so they can keep making money. All right, let's continue my notes. These are not merely moral opposites. They are ontological opposites. One sees the individual as a vessel to be purified and dissolved into the all, while the other sees the self as a microcosmic God to be empowered and expanded until it defies its own law. Enter Universe A and Universe B. And we just talked about that, but I have some more information here. These two metaphysical models serve as real-world maps of how people engage reality based on their spiritual and philosophical pathing. They are not psychological categories. They are energetic and ontological states that determine how power flows, how identity is formed, and how one's timeline unfolds. The core divide in LHP versus RHP is, in principle, authority, the right-hand path, external God, morality, karma, left-hand path, eternal, self, will, dominion. Goal, the right-hand path, union with the divine, ego death, the left-hand path, apotheosis, ego deification. Right-hand path, morality, objective and universal. Left-hand path, subjective and situational. Energy direction. Right-hand path, centripetal, return to source. Left-hand path, centrifugal, expansion of self. Right-hand path, method, obedience, devotion, purification. Left-hand path, transgression, individualization, integration. Right-hand path, dissolved into higher being. This is the identity. Left-hand path, elevated into sovereign God. So that's the differences in left and right-hand path right there. The right-hand path sees safety and truth and structure. It trusts in eternal cosmic order. The left-hand path sees structure as a limitation and seeks to rewrite it. Basically, revolution. Revolt against the status quo. Universe A, the right-hand collective. Universe A represents the dominant collective reality that mirrors the right-hand path. Its key feature include social control through morality and guilt, economic and sexual repression disguised as virtue, institutional religion, especially monotheism, as energetic binding protocols, linear timelines with delayed rewards, heaven later. Fear of power and personal responsibility masked as humility. In Universe A, most people are born into systems that condition them to be passive recipients of authority. Their energy is routed into maintaining the status quo. Creative energy is suppressed unless it serves to establish order. Rebellion is punished. This is complete Universe A. It's probably something you grew up in as a child, the household with your parents. I know it was for me. I am anti-Christian. I'm anti-religion. I come from a very religious and Christian background. I can't stand them on a personal level, on an ideological level, and I never could. They don't listen, they don't care, they're rigid, and they have their own programming. They're right, you're wrong, and they don't care what you have to say. To the point where it's abusive. Most Christians are that way. Yes, I shit on a lot of people because I keep it real. I keep it authentic. If I don't like you, you will know that I don't like you. I am not ruining my alignment for you. I will tell you, you look fat as shit in a dress. And by the looks of most people today, they look fat as shit in a dress. I have a I don't give a fuck attitude. Had it my whole life. It's natural. It's not something that I had to really try hard to do. That's universe B. I live in universe B. I'm so glad I am not a slave to universe A. Universe A encourages you to tithe your energy at church, 10%. You work hard all week, and they want you, not only are you going to pay taxes, but their God needs 10% of your money. Their God can't function without your money. Work hard, be humble. Universe A. Submit to divine authority. Wait for permission. Does that sound familiar to you? I know it sounds familiar to me. You ever know how this, when you talk to someone that lives in Universe A, you challenge them on anything, they get pissed off? Talk bad about Christianity to a Southern Baptist and see what happens. They think they're being virtuous by sticking up for their God. They can't do shit. That's because the soul knows that Universe A is false, that their God is fake. You ask someone that follows the left-hand path, whether it be Satanism, Luciferianism, or some other form of system. I don't follow those systems. Some of their ideas are okay. But if you ask them, most of those people are pretty honest, pretty straightforward. And that's considered evil by the right, because they want to be humble. They submit. Even when people attempt spirituality, they are often taught to fear, desire, ego, and autonomy. Universe A's field is designed to dilute power. You can't have power to yourself if you think you need a God to pray to protect you. You don't need a God to pray to protect you. You need to either pick up a baseball bat or a weapon or something and take care of yourself if someone's trying to break into your house. Self-defense, personal responsibility. See, that's what happens with people in Universe B. If you ever talk to someone in, Universe A, if you ever talk to someone that is stuck in that worldview of Jesus and Satan, that's the best analogy I have of that, because that's what worldview I was forced to for me to accept, but I rejected it because that's not my worldview. They never take personal responsibility for what they do. They blame the devil. Satan made me do it. Satan didn't make you do shit. Satan just means adversary. He's an adversarial energy. He's not somebody that's going to come kill your baby or anything like that. That's fucking retarded. That's movies. And if you notice how simple these people are in A, they believe just about everything. I mean, they believe a man that stands up at a pulpit and teaches prosperity. Jesus will give this to you. Not you go get it. Not that you didn't do it. Do you ever notice how when you're talking to these assholes, you never do anything right. You were never talented enough. You never worked hard enough. That was give all the glory to Jesus. That's Jesus that has the glory. But as soon as you fuck up, oh, you're the one that did wrong. You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and take personal responsibility for your action. It's personal responsibility when you do wrong, but it's God's glory when you do right. See, that's how the cult works. They siphon your energy. All these people, it's just a limp biscuit fest of mental guilt masturbation. People standing up in front of churches talking about how they are addicted to porn. Now everybody knows you jerk off to porn. Most people do. There's nothing wrong with porn as long as you don't let it control you and don't let it rob your energy if you know how to do that. There's nothing wrong with being sensual, enjoying sex, and as long as it's consensual and it's something you want to do and not against your will. See, someone in Universe B doesn't give a shit about controlling people. That's healthy. They don't want people around because they understand how energy is. They're very selective, very quiet about who they allow into their inner circle. Come off a little more darker because they've integrated the shadow, supposedly. Universe B, the Sovereign Rebellion. Universe B is the emergent path of the Sovereign. It maps onto the left-hand path, but includes technological, philosophical, and energetic advancements that have occurred in post-modern magical systems. Internal authority is divine source. Internal authority as divine source. Identity is a self-forged mask with operatic power. Desire is a command from the soul, not a sin. Time is non-linear, plastic, and ritual-based. You are God, writing law with your actions. In Universe B, your field emits dominion. Your word creates reality. Shame is transmuted into gold. Systems are tools, not masters. The left-hand path in Universe B does not reject the old gods. It becomes the source of new gods. A case study comparison, Universe A versus B across key arenas: sexuality. Universe A, shame, repression, hidden desires, moral judgment. Universe B, sacred erotics, archetypical embodiment, energetic sex magic. Sex magic is very powerful if you know how to do it. If you know how to get yourself aroused and focus that energy in one spot, it helps you manifest and attract and put energy and things and do certain magical operations a lot better. See, that's another thing. You'll see some of these right-hand path magicians talk about doing rituals over and over for hours. Well, you don't have to do that if you're a black magician, because you believe in creativity. You believe that your mind is your limit. So if you believe that you can make your ritual, do the ritual one time and make a daemon that can do that ritual for you by pushing a button like an application. You can do that. No need for doing 8 hours of magic. It's about speeding things up. I enjoy doing magic, but I enjoy being with friends, playing video games, or doing whatever. 2, time management. All right, money, universe A, scarcity mindset, guilt for wealth, moral confusion about luxury. This is why people in universe A will never be rich. If you think the love of money is the root of evil, and if you think having money is bad and makes you feel guilty, you will spend the money so you don't have money and you stay poor. That's the way it's set up. The elite are not poor. They live in universe B. This is magic. Magic is for kings. It's not for everybody. No matter what they tell you it's for everybody. So this culture of everyone's equal. We're not equal, buddy. I went through 43 years of hell. You didn't. Or maybe you are at this time. 11 of those years was the fucking abyss. You didn't face my fear. I faced my fear. So fuck off. We're not the same. No one's the same. This idea from the spiritual community, we all have source in us. No, the fuck we don't. Not everyone's got a fucking soul. It's why you're here. It's why you're reincarnating to do your soul's work. And the right-hand path stops you from doing that soul's work. Unless your soul's work is to be a slave and learn something. Depends on what is written in your soul contract before birth. So, if you have a scarcity mindset, if you believe you're always in survival, if you're trying to find money, you feel like you never have enough money, not because you want to make more, but because you just don't have enough, you'll never be rich. No matter how many times you watch The Secret and do your manifesting bullshit in your room. It doesn't matter. It's energetic. See, this stuff used to be taught to people. Not anymore. They don't want you to know it. They told you magic is evil. Black magic is bad. No, black magic is power. It's not bad. It's not evil. They use it. The Catholic churches use magic all the time. If you've ever taken part in the Eucharist and believed that bread and wine is turned into blood, which is disgusting, and in the body of Christ, so basically you're eating a god. The cannibalism, a form of it, which is what it is. You just don't know it as magical, energetic cannibalism. Because that's what the mind does. Then you've done magic. Basically, the Catholic Church says magic is bad. Don't use magic. Follow our magic. And they forced everybody into this egregore. Egregore is a energetical energy system, if you don't know. It's done with social. It's not a daemon. It's not a demon. It's a daemon. It's a entity that you can build. It's a metaphysical technology that can help you learn things, do things, make life easier. I have a whole metaphysical setup in my codex. That's what that is. I am a metaphysical engineer. It's not make-believe. It's pretend. It's on a higher plane. It's not something we're just playing Dungeons and Dragons. But Dungeons and Dragons can help. That's a good idea. Play that. Because imagination is the most important, powerful tool you have. When I graduated high school a long time ago, many moons, I was not ready for college. I thought that was bad at the time because that's what people told me. They were hitting me with their command magic, their sorcery, and I believed it because I didn't know better, because I was naive. But as a middle-aged man, I can see now the best thing that ever happened to me was I was not prepared for college. I passed high school, no problem. I just did enough to get by. I got good grades. I didn't fail classes. In those days, we got 8 credits a year, so 4 years of high school, I graduated with 32 credits. I never failed a class. I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't do the after-school technology stuff. After school extracurricular activities. I wasn't into technology or anything. I was a punk rocker. I loved skateboarding and playing video games. So that's what I did. Best thing I ever did. I actually enjoyed my teenage years. I remember watching this video about this guy. I'll go off a tangent a little bit. He worked hard all year to become a valedictorian. Really proud of himself. And he said it felt good. It felt amazing being a valedictorian for 30 seconds. Now, he sacrificed his life, made that valedictorian, getting that award, his God. Put his energy toward it. Sacrificed spending time with friends that he'll never get back, just so he could feel good for 30 seconds. What a fucking putz. I bet that's how he feels inside. You've probably felt that way at times. I know I have. Just to fulfill someone else's will. That's sad. That's how you get sick and disease. By not living in your will. It's energetic. It's not anything else. I'm not saying it's not physical. It's caused by energetic imbalances that manifest physically, that requires a doctor to see. There's a process that's not taught anymore. It's not taught anymore because it's unpurposely not taught anymore. That's why doctors don't cure, they practice. They treat. They alleviate the symptoms, and then you got to come back, take more. It's energetically based. At one time, science and spirituality and magic were all linked together. Not anymore. Universe B on money. Wealth as power current. Divine permission to receive. Collapse of guilt. To be in Universe B, you really got to work on yourself, your shadow and your relationship with money. You literally got to tell yourself, I love money. I do. I'm not going crazy like for greed. There's a difference. See, that's what people are too dumb to realize. There's a difference between loving money and being greed. You can love money and not be greedy. And you can be greedy and love money. I love having money. I love money. I like eating cheeseburgers. I like buying different things. I like being able to live in a house that requires money. So if you hate billionaires, you'll never be one. If you hate successful people, you'll never be one because you believe they're bad. That's Universe A mindset. All right. Time and reality, Universe A. Linear causality, divine punishment and reward. Universe B. Timelines are sculpted, parallel versions of self exist. Causality is programmable through the will. A lot of people practice a lot of types of magic. I do too. I am actually a death magician. I am a necromancer. I do death magic. I do destructive magic. I do baneful magic. And destructive magic is different. It's curses and like baneful, but also use it to destroy weakness. Bad energies. Not the new age bad energies, just different things. Like when you're integrating energies into yourself, you need to clean up the poison and that's destructive magic. But you can also attack an egregore. That's destructive magic. So it's different applications. Would I teach destructive magic? Some things, I'm not going to teach you how to destroy an egregore. I'm not going to teach you the real heavy stuff. You don't need to know that. There's a reason why a lot of the stuff's hidden and not given to everybody. It has nothing to do with ego. You can't be in universe B and cross the abyss and operate from ego. That's what happened to fucking Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was operating from pure ego. That's why he couldn't do shit. That's why I laugh at him. And everyone, it seems like so many people in the right-hand path and in the spiritual and magical community on YouTube and everyone basically are sucking Aleister Crowley's dick. I think he was a fucking loser. A rich kid that tried to use magic to get what he wanted. Very vindictive. You can't be vindictive and like this if you're using magic. It has nothing to do with the return of 3 times. That's fucking Wicca. Most people, like for example, Wicca's right-hand path. It's just a different form of Christianity. Voodoo. They use Christianity, Santeria. They use Christian saints in with their voodoo and stuff. No. That's right-hand path bullshit. That's the problem. I got an article in Substack that talks about it, and we'll go into it later on the podcast here. You can't mix both these energies. You can't be trying to manifest something and use Jesus and all this. It doesn't work. You're going to manifest it, but you're going to fucking go nuts too. And that's another thing about all these Universe A puss cakes. Don't you dare talk bad about their system. You talk bad about voodoo, Christianity, God forbid Islam, the rabies of the world. You're gonna get canceled. But they talk about black magic all the time. Do you hear us bitching? They're Satan worshipers. I don't worship Satan. I might work with Satan. I might work with Lucifer. They're 2 different beings. Beelzebub, 3 different beings. They're not the same idea. But the church has tried to tell people they are the same. They're not. They're different energies. They're fucking archetypes. They're not things to be afraid of. It's how archetype magic works. The magic flows more powerful if you have the right archetype. And if you don't know how to switch archetypes and reset your archetypes, your energy is flowing through a mesh field like a lattice, and you're projecting your energy to people. Women are very sensitive to energy. They feel everything. Men do not understand that. The majority of men do not understand. They get into magic. I want to manipulate this girl to sleep with me. I want to get her to give me a blowjob. I want this. I want that. I want that. If you understand energy, you don't need to manipulate the person. You manipulate your own field, and the energy and the person will come. The old saying, "Why rob a bank when you can rob Fort Knox?" Why rob anything when you can change your field and have the money come to you and flow to you? You just got to set up the river, the current flow. What is the current flow? Well, that's your business. Meaning, if you're in a restaurant and you sell tacos, selling tacos is your current flow. That's how the currency, like a bank, that's why you put money in a bank, so the currency can flow to the bank. It's a current, it's an energy current, can flow to you. That's why these rich people, they set up these businesses. Tax reasons is one. 2 is to have the energy flow to them. If you know how to do numerology, and I'm not talking about to find out what your personality is, and which is all good and all that, not new age bullshit. I'm talking about numerology and how to read the numbers and use numbers to decode reality and understand timeline magic and how to understand time loops, man, you're powerful. Timeline magic is deciding how to make a decision on how the energy is going to affect you. For example, I think I talked about in this last video, but it doesn't matter. If you have on your Uber app, you want to take an Uber, and there's 3 options, the most expensive option is going to be your best bet because you're putting the most energy into it, and most likely your path, that time portal you're going through, that you just created, the time loop for that decision, is going to be better. Your energy affects reality. They talk about it in quantum physics. It's the observer effect. If you observe something, you change reality. And what magic does is it helps manipulate that. Death. Universe A is fearful of the end, divine judgment, moral scorecard. They think they're going to heaven or hell. These people really think they're going to heaven or hell. And they believe it so bad that that's what they build. Most likely when they die, they see heaven or hell because that's what they believe so bad. And people would say, well, why would you want to change that? I want to go to heaven. I want to see grandma again. It's not what your soul wants. It's what your ego wants. Universe B sees death as a gateway, an ally, a daemon, or a god within. Death is a transformation. Back in Kemet, they used to teach people how to die, which in turn teaches you how to live. Most people don't know how to live, much less how to die. And knowing how to die is knowing how to live. They're sitting meditating for 30 hours, 40 hours, doing this, doing that, trying to be something they're not living their soul's path. Knowledge. Universe A, restricted, clerical, academic. Universe B, transmission, gnosis, psychic memory, demonic intelligence. You can learn what you need from daemons. Someone that's hooked up to the Akashic records, I always pronounce everything wrong. When you hook up to that, yourself sits yourself in front of a mirror and tells you the most hard truth. The most hard truth about your life. And it can either shatter you or not. Obviously it didn't shatter me because I'm here talking to you. I had to do it. And when you're hooked up to the Akashic records, it's gnosis. You can get information. You can learn anything. You can do anything. You can use daemons and pull energies from time in your life to help you feel better. But you have to earn this. This is not something that's just going to show up. You got to do the inner work, get rid of the trauma. Because the worst thing is a magician with trauma. That's right-hand path. That's why they go crazy. Because they're just interlaying all this energy work on top of trauma that they don't deal with. Because if they dealt with the trauma and the shadow work, they would be left-hand path. But they believe God is outside them and not inside them. Integration or divergence. Can paths intersect? Many modern practitioners attempt to merge both paths. They want the internal freedom of the left-hand path with the community, beauty, and structure of the right-hand path. But integration only works when the practitioner has consciously chosen both paths at a level of law, energy, and ritual. Otherwise, the conflict creates a leak. The person seeks power but feels guilt, desires wealth but fears judgment, becomes sovereign but hides behind humility. I will go ahead and tell you, I am a lone wolf. I do not want to create a group of people that I'm hanging out with all the time, like a cult. That is some bullshit. I don't want to be around you. Most likely you're stupid. No offense. I can't help it. You're stupid. Or maybe you're annoying. Or maybe you stink. Did I offend you? Get over it. No one gives a fuck about your feelings. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you can walk down the path and become strong and have power. Learning that no one cares about you is the most liberating and the most destructive things at the same time. Once you learn that no one cares about you, no one's thinking about you, that their own main characters and their own stories, you realize nothing fucking matters and you don't worry about what they think and you do what you want to do. That's what the left-hand path is all about. Doing your will. If you do your will, you'll want to do your will because it'll make you feel good. So therefore you do what you want to do. I'm not talking about eating 500 bags of chips, which sounds pretty good if you're hungry. True integration only occurs when you write your own law, remove guilt from your field, accept all parts of your being as divine. You're not going to be able to operate your codex until you cross the abyss. That's the way it is. There's no way about it. And there's age, time limits on it. I don't care what anyone says. You can't speed it up. The universe works on numbers. Doesn't work on when you think it should happen. That's your ego. And you can whine and cry all you want. It doesn't matter. Power structure and energetic feeding systems. Universe A's hidden engine and energy siphoning. It routes your effort, passion, and attention into serving systems you don't control. Organized religion harvest belief. Government harvest fear and obedience. Social norms harvest conformity. In contrast, Universe B programs this. Daemons and egregores serve you. You can make daemons and egregores do things for you. For example, you want to learn a language faster? Create a daemon. Daemons work outside your body. They manipulate the reality. You want to send telepathic information to your dog? Create a daemon. You want to organize your thoughts? Create a servitor. Wealth is commanded, not requested. That's what Universe B programs. Desire is honored, not repressed. The left-hand path is fundamentally an act of energy reclamation. The right-hand path is slavery. Energetic slavery. You're Jesus's bitch. And you're controlled by guilt. Pleasure's bad. I don't want to be Jesus's bitch. I told him to go fuck off. It's total mental freedom. Totally worth it. All right, so let's talk about some field physics, the energetic differences. Energy direction, universe A, outward to systems, B, inward to self, then outward as sovereign signal. Signal type, universe A, passive, submissive, unclear. Universe B, dominant, sovereign, magnetic. Feature, language, pleading, apologetic. Universe B, command, declaration, more precise, like a surgeon, thinking about what they're going to say before they say it. Timeline, universe A is reactive, universe B is casual, sculpted. Universe A, archetype, servant, sinner, seeker. Universe B, archetype, God, daemon, sovereign. Universe A's field will never permit full manifestation of power. It denies it at a structural level. Universe B's field is written lawfully to permit divine will to actualize through personal command. The black flame, key to universe B. The black flame is the inner divine fire, personal sovereignty. It is the animating current of the left-hand path and the primary power source of universe B. It cannot be given, only claimed. It does not ask, it declares. It does not submit, it creates. Those who carry the black flame walk the world as walking laws. Their field radiates command, reality bends, not because they scream louder, but because the field is encoded with sovereignty. Field warnings and cross-contamination. Trying to run universe B energetics while living in universe A will break your body, mind, and finances. Why? Universe A punishes sovereignty as narcissism. It responds to power with suppression. People in the universe A are not coded to receive universe B signals. For example, I'm going to pick on and shit on Damien Eccles again. I can't stand that guy. Not because he's famous and writes books, because he's an idiot. That's being nice. He did magic to get off death row, okay? All right, so let's talk about this. Let me help you understand where I'm coming from. This is my opinion. This is my black magical analysis of the situation with Damien Eccles in the West Memphis 3, and I want to say this. I take a stand. He's guilty. He is absolutely guilty of those murders. On a physical level, no, he didn't wield the knife that killed the boys. He didn't do that. On an energetic level, yeah, definitely did it. There, I said it. I'm on record. Damien Eccles, energetically, is responsible, karmically too, if you believe in karma, for those 3 boys' murder. It was 3 boys that were guilty. 3 boys were murdered. That's 6. Those are magic numbers, black magic numbers. What I think he did, he was a kid at the time, too young to be fucking around with magic. There's age limits on this shit for a reason. In my opinion, he opened a portal. Something came through, he invoked. He didn't know how to get rid of it. And it influenced those 3 boys, or influenced somebody to end the life of those 3 boys. All their ages and everything. It's too magical. It's too connected to this one daemon. I'm not going to say his name. Not out of fear, because he doesn't need any more energy. So what happened? He went to jail. He went on death row. he got into that situation, was thrown into the abyss way too early. That's what that was. That was an abyssal entry. He's still there. To this day. He's still in the fucking abyss for over 20 years. He's stuck. Why? Okay, well, let me give you my reasoning. The day he got out of jail, he stopped doing magic for 2 years. He said it was just like something just snapped in me and I just couldn't do it anymore. Well, no shit. You did all that power and it had no throne to go to. Because you didn't fix your shit. He entered a time loop. This is timeline magic, which for some reason he never talks about. For being a guy that's so fucking elite for 20 years studying and reading all these books, and there's your answer right there. Because he's chased by ego. He's not learning from source, which is soul. Regurgitating what he's read to make him sound smart. Total fucking arrogant, cocky asshole. He entered the time loop in chaos as a wrongfully convicted murderer. No, he was rightfully convicted energetically, maybe not physically. So the universe sent him in there to change. So the universe sent him magic. Instead of using magic to change and level up and ask questions, he used magic to escape. That's what that was. He got out in 2011 on August the 19th. Do the numerology there. What is the month of August on the 19th? Well, it's guided by Leo energy. It's manifestation energy. Number 8 month. 8 is manifestation. It's infinity. Upright. So he got out of jail. His fucking brain fucking collapsed under the energetic release of all that built up energy of doing fucking rituals 8-9 hours a day in the zone, thinking he's living in his will. His will was to change. And if he would have changed and accepted death, he would have exited the time loop fine. Because you go in the time loop, especially the abyss, he would have exited the abyss, come out better, but he couldn't because he's a right-hand path bullshit magician. They're trying to level up to God and be next to God and worship his foot and please him and be a servant. Be a slave for the divine. The divine doesn't want you to be a slave. It wants you to be the God that you are. So probably, this is my opinion, from a magical perspective, even if he what could have happened was the universe would have took him all the way to the electric chair, if they still use it in Arkansas, or the lethal injection part. The governor would have called probably before or right before they administered the execution, or maybe the moment, maybe it wouldn't even took him that far. Maybe it would have took him as far as just accepting that he was going to die in his death. Maybe he could have been in a cell saying, hey, you know what? I accept this and I'm okay with dying. And then the universe probably would have figured out a way to get him out because he learned his lesson. But he didn't learn shit. That's why he can't form sentences, and he blames it on being in solitary confinement and all this other mumbo jumbo. No, it's the energy. It's because you're used trying to manifest something, then try to deny it with this white magic. I'm holy. I'm using angels and archangels and the names of God. 20 years in a cell and didn't learn shit. Trying to run Universe B energetics while Living in Universe A will break your body, mind, and finances. Why? Universe A punishes sovereignty and as narcissism. It responds to power with suppression. People in Universe A are not coded to receive. Universe B signals. That's why. If I read that before, I'm sorry, I went on a tangent. Likewise, trying to run Universe A program inside Universe B will collapse your magnetism. Guilt reverse field change. Fear distorts timeline resonance. Shame turns off your daemons. You can't do it. You're not supposed to be actually doing meditation correctly and being a Christian. You're sending two different energetic signals. Ceremonial magic, meditation, can't do it. Go banish something somewhere else. Stop trying to manifest. Stop trying to control spirits. If you're a ceremonial magician, the control of spirits is left-hand path. The working with daemons, left-hand path. You can't use the Goetia. You got to make a choice. Stick with a shitty right-hand path that doesn't do anything for you, or come over to the other side. I'm not going to tell you how to get into Universe B. You can shift it. It takes a profound event in your life. You can't run Universe A and Universe B together. They got to be separate. All right, left-hand path is beyond taboo into dominion. The real left-hand path is not about wearing black and invoking devils. It's the full embrace of your own godhood, shadow, power, erotic truth, and will to shape reality. You do not ask, you engineer. You do not hope, you enforce. You do not repent, you write new laws. It is the path of authorship, not submission. Of flame, not ash. Of immortality, not legacy. Here's some final notes. Choosing your universe is choosing your destiny. You cannot live in both simultaneously. You must pick a spine to build from. Universe A will reward obedience and punish truth. Universe B will demand sacrifice but give you the throne. Universe B is going to kick your ass. It's not safe magic. We don't deal with safe. Safe doesn't make you go forward. You want safe? Go to Walmart. I don't give a shit what you want. Because what you want is encoded with trauma. You got to think about that. One gives comfort, the other gives power. One gives belongings, the other gives godhood. And that is the difference. Choose wisely. You have a choice to make. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this with anyone you know that wants to walk the left-hand path. The Black Flame is calling you, like the bat signal in Gotham, if you're at this point of the video. Can you make it? Can you enter the abyss and walk out? Do you have what it takes to face the most scariest thing about you so you can't be controlled or manipulated and actually live a life worth living? Or are you still a slave tied to Jesus? Jesus is fake. He's an egregore. He's not real. You're alone. It's not nihilistic. It's the truth. How are you going to survive when it's just you if your parents are not haven't gone yet? You have to ask yourself that. That's a scary situation. Do you know what it feels like to be completely by yourself? Can you make it? Or will you crumble? Do you have strength or are you weakness? If you're this far listening in the podcast, you have strength and you got what it takes. The Black Flame is calling you. You hear the signal. Answer it. You won't regret it. It won't be easy. It's not going to give you anything. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you vomit. It's going to make you sacrifice. But you're not growing. You're being forged. You're being forged to hold power. Not bullshit. If you want bullshit, you're in the wrong place. I don't sell bullshit. I sell t-shirts and hoodies and a blanket on my other website. Link down below in the description. Check it out. They look really cool. Only got a few. Still building the site. Follow me here. On YouTube. Go to my Substack. Got a Substack link below too. Put out some literature every day. Great articles. Subscribe. Eventually I'm going to open up my Patreon. This is the beginning to something great. The Black Flame signal is burning strong. This is a pirate radio transmission. Erasing and destroying illusion through sovereignty and codex law. I'm a codex level architect. This is the end of transmission. Have a great night. Thank you for listening.